Hey guys, nice to see you on the Frodger Channel. After a little research, I came to the conclusion that the theme grid logo design is quite popular. This means that people are interested in geometric and simple designs, and it's just amazing. Personally, I'm a big fan of logos built on grid construction, and that's why I decided to start a series of episodes based on this. In these videos, we will not consider stages such as communication with the client, creating an association map and mood boards. Only 2 points. First, speed up the sketching process in Adobe Photoshop, and the second, refinement logo design step by step in Adobe Illustrator. Guys, before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and put a notification so as not to miss new useful videos. Well, let's see how much you are interested in this format. In today's episode, as you can see from the thumbnail, we are going to design a dog logo based on a grid. Let's start with the sketch phase. When I'm working on sketches, I'm trying to do this process in a few steps. At first, I throw ideas very roughly, then I try to make the sketches a little cleaner to see the next directions. And after, when I'm convinced that the sketch can work well, I'm improve it. In this process, I'm doing the same thing. I've created and finalized the sketch, and now it's time to vectorize it in Adobe Illustrator. By the way, why I depicted the waves emanating from the tip of the dog's nose? The fact is that it's a real project and the client asked not to disclose the details. But the main idea is that the dog's nose is also a radar, which symbolizes a search. Maybe you have an idea what it could be? Please write your option in the comments. Since we are going to create a design based on a grid system, we need to display it. This is done in the following way. Click View and set Show Grid. Also, a very important thing here is to check the Snap to Grid. Thus, all the shapes, whether it be a circle or a square, will be adjacent to the grid lines. Now, moving the sketch to this artboard, create a layer for it. Set transparency to about 20%. And let's adjust it a bit to the main grid. That's good. Lock the sketch, select and press Ctrl 2. Or by the way, we can just lock the layer by clicking on the toggles lock here. This works too. For the grid and design elements, we also create a new layer. Now let's draw a vertical line, and after selecting, copy it to the left with the Alt-Shift key combination. And now, with the given step, create more additional lines by duplicating them using the Ctrl D. Here we go. Since at the very beginning we set the snap to grid, all these lines fit perfectly into the grid. Of course, now we should create horizontal lines. I'm just selecting all the existing ones, press Ctrl C to copy and the Ctrl Shift V to paste to the same place. And now I just rotate all these lines by 90 degrees with holding Shift. Let's align with the sketch. There are not enough lines on the top, let's duplicate them in the same way. For neatness, I'm reducing these lines that go beyond the main area. Let's create ellipses in places where there will be rounding. At first, the upper part of the ear. It seems to me that we can just duplicate the circle for the lower part of the ear. Super, it works, but what about the pearl? Yeah, it's just wonderful. Let's draw ellipses for the face. And for the back. I believe that everything is going great. Even the grid doesn't match 100 of the sketch. This is absolutely okay. Sketches are just rough ideas, the grid is about balance and proportions. So follow them. Let's draw figures for the nose and eyes. In order to depict the waves coming out of the tip of the dog's nose, I'm going to just copy each circle with the Ctrl C, paste them, Ctrl Shift V in the same place and increase holding Alt Shift to the next line of the grid. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like. You may notice rounding in the lines of the paws, ear, tail and waves. Honestly, there is no point in drawing additional circles for them now. After we create a design, we can round these tips. So it's faster and more convenient. I'll show you how later. Let's put a 35-degree line, for example, from this point over here. To make the line exactly 45 degrees, just hold down Shift when you draw it. This line will cut off our waves. Just in case duplicating the created design, and lock the sketch. Now focus on the grid. Little by little I'll build the design using the Shape Builder tool. There are extremely important points that few people talk about. If right now we start working with the Shape Builder tool, then in the final version we'll have a lot of extra anchor points that will be complicating the design. It will look something like this. No perfect, right? How can this be avoided? In the design there are a lot of lines that we drew to create the base to keep proportions. But right now we don't really need them. For example, this line is no longer applies to anything. Just remove. Those up to the tail are also no longer required. These two lines are for the tail and paw. Let's scale them down to the right size. Removing the next one. This one refers to the paw. Let's make it an appropriate size. This one connects the face and back. We also reduce the lines of the paw and these segments for the ear and other paws. Let's now start adjusting the horizontal lines. Removing the first four, they aren't needed. The following ones refer to the top of the head. Let's adjust to fit. This line is for the ear. Delete the next two. With these two we merge the head and back, but at the same time it refers to the tip of the tail. I suggest making a copy of it, Ctrl+C and paste, Ctrl+Shift+V. We'll use one for the tail and the second for the connecting the head and back. This one isn't needed. Let's adjust this to the rounding of the lower part of the ear. The next lines are for the paws. I'm also going to duplicate and use them for each segment separately. This line is extra. Duplicate the bottom two lines so that they apply to every paw. I also think copying these two vertical lines and using them separately for both the ear and the paw. Guys, what about circles? They can also be cleaner. For example, just select the anchor points of the half of the ellipse with the direct selection tool and press backspace on the keyboard. This part should also be removed. Super! Let's do this action with the other circles. There's a mismatch at the tip of the nose. Let's draw a small segment in these places. Think right now I need the shape builder tool, but for the purpose to remove the extra parts of the wave circles. Let's select them and also the line rotated by 45 degrees. And using this tool while holding down Alt, we cut off unnecessary lines. The process is going very well. Now when creating a logo design, we'll not be worried by anchor points and the graphics will turn out to be clean as possible. With the same shape builder tool, we need to make a design by first changing the stroke to fill. I like how it goes. Let's copy the design of the dog. The sketch has rounded shapes, so let's do the same in the design. Just select the required anchor points using the direct selection tool and round the corners with the left mouse button. Let's say our brand name is Powie. In this project I'll use a font choosing in advance. Its name Basic Sense. Let's create outline. Let's align the font according to the logo mark. Let's draw 5 lines from head to paws. And click vertical distribution space. I'm fitting the font along the 2 middle lines. The distance from the icon to the font, I'm going to take 1/2 of this segment. For the colors, I'm going to use dark blue and green. Nothing special, dark blue for the name and the dog, and green for the waves. Guys, in order to create high-quality logos at a professional level, it's not necessary to draw well. Of course, this is a useful skill, but as today's tutorial showed, if you correctly learn how to use the grid, you can easily cope with such a task. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if so, please subscribe to our channel and set a notification. This motivates us a lot. Also, see our last very useful and interesting videos. Good mood to you all. Bye!